What's up, everybody? Impromptu live stream. Snow alerts across the United States and temperatures, snow amounts. It is really, really interesting. From Bar Harbor, 18 to 24 inches. Bangor, Maine, 12 to 18. Thank God I'm a country boy. Hartford, 8 to 12. Boston, 18 to 24. Falmouth, 12 to 18. Norfolk, Virginia, 1 to 3. DC, 1 to 3. Raleigh, North Carolina, 1 inch. It's called Winter Storm Keenan. Hey, darling. Yeah, this morning it was 12 degrees up there. It's going to be really cold here. We got the water running. Let's see. 32 degrees. Going to be down to 21 tonight. Ooh, baby. Yes.
With every model run on Winter Storm Keenan, we know more, and it is still set to give a pounding to the East Coast. That will see heavy snow, strong winds, low visibility. We'll also see high surf beginning to build, and the cold, the very dangerous and extreme cold. So look for big drops on your thermometers, lots of single-digit temperatures. On Saturday across New England, dangerous wind chills, as we've been mentioning. Peak intensity expected off the New England coast, where we could see 2-4-inch snowfall rates. Snow should taper off for most locations by later in the day Saturday into Sunday, but there's still going to be those dangerous wind chills we keep talking about through the back part of our weekend. Now, as for the snow totals, we know that not everybody likes this, but the snow lovers of young and old across New England will have plenty of snow to make some impressive snow sculptures. So please know that some of these numbers could be boosted in Saturday's updates, so we hope to see you again. In the meantime, just a reminder about these cold temperatures. This is serious. Bundle up.
If
there's one thing you can count on when a nor'easter is coming, it is the run for supplies and groceries is on. Shoppers hit up stores in Boston and other areas in the path of Winter Storm Keenan Friday. Residents seem to be taking the storm seriously, which is good, stocking up on snow shovels, salt, and even the occasional new snowblower. Groceries, on the other hand, were a bit harder to find in some spots. Back-to-back winter storms. This is the third one in 2 weeks to hit parts of the East Coast, and that's only added to shortages that have persisted for months due to issues related to COVID-19. Store managers are asking people to take what they need, but please leave some for your neighbors too.
This is going to be a very big storm, probably one of the biggest we've experienced in the last few years. Conditions are expected to make travel nearly impossible, and we're urging everyone to the extent possible, to stay home tonight and tomorrow. The entire state is expected to get snow, with blizzard conditions expected in coastal areas, including the Cape, and also along the South Shore and the North Shore, and very significant snowfall across Greater Boston and into Central Mass. The rate of snowfall is expected to pick up significantly around 9 or 10 tomorrow morning, and the National Weather Service expects snowfall of between 2 and 4 inches per hour between 10 and 4 tomorrow. 2 to 4 inches an hour is basically whiteout conditions.
Even if you are still getting caught up on the latest snowfall projections, it should not be a surprise at all that travel is being impacted. And we've got a lot of major airport hubs from the southeast to the northeast that will see delays. We also, on the screen, have major interstates for you on the map, so you can see how many of those will need some serious cleanup. Now, we're starting to loosen up a little bit on the delays going through later in the day Saturday, but this is not accounting the impacts that we'll see from earlier flight delays and mechanical maintenance and the time it takes for crews to de-ice planes. So special thanks to those folks and any outdoor worker who has to be out in this. It is going to be cold. Sunday still brings temperatures that are about 10 degrees cooler than average. And not all of you are cold weather lovers. So if you want it to be warmer air will arrive on Tuesday. Take a look at how many places are included under a blizzard warning. That's in the pink shading, but there's also going to be heavy snow coming down if you are in the blue zones for the winter storm warnings and advisories. We're talking about snow being blown around by significant winds, 2 to 4 inch snowfall rates possible. Most places are going to see 1.5 to 2 feet, and we're not going to be surprised at all to see some higher totals. Whiteout conditions are expected with the worst visibility as we go through later in the day Saturday. Don't be surprised when the winds quickly pick up and then just keep them going. Travel really might be impossible in some spots, and that has to do with the visibility we're showing you here. The boating community has also been forewarned about major drops in visibility in rough seas, and moderate coastal flooding is also expected. So this is far from all about the snow, but I know this is what everybody wants to see. Even as the snow tapers off later in the day Saturday, know that areas of blowing snow are expected to continue into Saturday night. Please be careful out there. Winter Storm Keenan is a travel nightmare for so many different locations. Look at the blizzard warnings and the pink shading, but far from the only places that are going to see heavy snow. So be careful if you're under a winter storm warning or a winter weather advisory. Now, I know these totals have a really big range, anywhere between 6 inches to 1.5 feet, but depending on where those heavy snow bands set up, those could blast isolated locations with a whole lot more. Now, the winds are going to be bad pretty much all day long. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Wind chills expected to be below 0 or single digits on Saturday night. So cold. And expected to deal with strong winds leading to blizzard conditions. So visibility is going to go down to 1/4 mile or less. Now, it's very, very possible that we could see some locations receive more snow than what you are seeing here. So the advice is come back to check the forecast again.
Good one, Mark. Unmute, Mark.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what the temperature was this morning, but it's going to go down to 20.
This morning it was, Missy, it started dropping at 2 o'clock. That's when I went to bed. I said, the hell with this. It was about 14.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, when I checked,
Right now it's 18.
It was 11 degrees this morning up there. But it's clear. You're not having any snow.
No, but it's flipping cold.
Yeah. Oh. We're definitely going to have a heat wave Monday and Tuesday. 62
Ooh,
and
you
60.
were?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's interesting. Where are those?
Really is gonna screw up all the plants.
Yeah, I'm looking for all those videos. Okay.
Is Alabama expecting snow or is it gonna blow over?
I have no idea. Look at that.
Yep.
The homes in Colorado burned by the fire. All the snow.
Yep. Kind of strange, isn't it?
Yeah, look at that. Wow. 52 photos. I wonder when that fire was.
The beginning of the month, I believe. It should tell you.
January 1st.
I told you, beginning of the month.
Yeah. 8 inches fell on top of the hardest hit areas. 1,000 homes burned.
Yep.
Wow. I don't watch the news that much.
Almost half that little town burnt. And amazing enough, it didn't touch many trees. Kind of makes you think.
Wow. All the way up to the door.
Yep. Let me see. We burn concrete, but not trees. Doesn't that wake up anybody?
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
trees should be definitely gone.
Yes. With that amount of heat, absolutely.
That's a home. Look at the snow all the way in the horizon. Wow.
Well, it's Colorado gets always a lot of snow.
Oh, yeah. Looks cold in Colorado.
It's like Montana gets a lot of snow too. I mean, we get a lot of snow, but mostly up in the hills. Down on the valley where I'm at, we get a lot of snow too, but not as much.
I know Radical Ralph Russo. He's up in Maine somewhere, not too far from Strawberry Tart.
Yeah.
And they get a lot of snow up there. Is that a tree on the car? Looks like
I don't
it.
know what the. Look, I don't know what the heck that is. Am I hiccuping?
Yeah, he hiccuped a little bit.
That's what I thought I heard it.
Wow. December of last year. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, trees are nice and pretty though.
Yeah. Yeah, something. I can't explain that.
Yeah, I can. That's called a laser.
Yeah, but if it was a laser, it would be the trees would go too.
Not if that's pinpointed.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
the
if you.
heat, but the fire would spread, and the trees would be affected.
Not necessarily. Not to destroy brick and stuff like that, and not wood. Who knows, Mark?
Yeah, this looks like behind
I
the
mean,
car.
the car is
That looks like a
completely melted down, but the trees are alive. No, there's something wrong with that picture.
Yeah, most definitely. I gotta agree. Time to rebuild. Probably won't rebuild until the summertime. Where are those people going? Or where do they go to?
I don't know. Probably in motels, hotels, to their family, shelters,
The shelters are probably full.
rentals, until they get their insurance money and rebuilt, I guess.
There's a lot of places that
Because if you got insurance on your house, the insurance company will pay for your stay wherever you're at for so long until you get it rebuilt. See what I mean? Look at that. The whole thing is burning. Your ornaments are fine.
Yeah, and that fire is headed. It looks like it's leaning towards the trees. Firefighters.
I mean, I felt just right. That was Christmas. That was the day before Christmas, I think, or Christmas Eve.
Yeah, December 31st.
Yeah, right before. I knew it was right before Christmas.
Yellow skies along McCaslin Boulevard in Louisville, Colorado. Wow.
That's what I call a whiteout
Yeah.
and smoke.
I was going to
That's
call Raven and tell her I'm live, but she just got out of the hospital.
so call her up. Mute your mic.
Yeah, I got the answering machine.
Did she answer?
No. I just left a message. Wow. I tell you, the fire department and EMS are going to be really hard hit. They have to go out in the nighttime, responding to 911 calls. Port. That's a nice porch, or was a nice porch. Whoa. Yeah, I don't. I'd rather live in where I'm at right now, despite the trees, instead of in a tight community. Because if your neighbor's house is on fire, the chances of your house catching on fire are pretty good. And that's smooth. Wow. Did you ever see a fire tornado?
Yeah, they're wicked looking. We get them here when we get fires.
Yeah, they did one. The movie Into the Storm. There was a fire tornado near across from the church, near the across from a car dealership, and they are wicked. Okay. More allergies. Where is? Wow. Yeah, Northeast winter storm underway coming up next.
With every model run on Winter Storm Keenan, we know more, and it is still set to give a pounding to the East Coast. There will see heavy snow, strong winds, low visibility. We'll also see high surf beginning to build, and the cold, the very dangerous and extreme cold. So look for big drops in your thermometers, lots of single-digit temperatures on Saturday across New England. Dangerous wind chills, as we've been mentioning. Peak intensity expected off the New England coast, where we could see 2 to 4 inch snowfall rates. Snow should taper off for most locations by later in the day Saturday into Sunday, but there's still going to be those dangerous wind chills we keep talking about through the back part of our weekend. Now, as for the snow totals, we know that not everybody likes this, but the snow lovers of young and old across New England will have plenty of snow to make some impressive snow sculptures. So please know that some of these numbers could be boosted in Saturday's updates, so we hope to see you again. In the meantime, just a reminder about these cold temperatures. This is serious. Bundle up. Winter Storm Keenan is a travel nightmare for so many different locations. Look at the blizzard warnings and the pink shading. But far from the only places that are going to see heavy snow, so be careful if you're under a winter storm warning or winter weather advisory. Now, I know these totals have a really big range, anywhere between 6 inches to 1.5 feet, but depending on where those heavy snow bands set up, those could blast isolated locations with a whole lot more. Now, the winds are going to be bad pretty much all day long. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, wind chills expected to be below 0 or single digits on Saturday night. So cold, and expected to deal with strong winds leading to blizzard conditions. So visibility is going to go down to a 1/4 mile or less. Now, it's very, very possible that we could see some locations receive more snow than what you are seeing here. So the advice is come back to check the forecast again. If there's one thing
Just
you
dropped
can
to
count on
13
when a
degrees.
nor'easter is coming, it is the run for supplies and groceries is on. Shoppers hit up stores in Boston and other areas in the path of Winter Storm Keenan Friday. Residents seem to be taking the storm seriously, which is good, stocking up on snow shovels, salt, and even the occasional new snowblower. Groceries, on the other hand, were a bit harder to find in some spots. Back-to-back winter storms. This is the third one in 2 weeks to hit parts of the East Coast, and that's only added to shortages that have persisted for months due to issues related to COVID-19. Store managers are asking people to take what they need, but please leave some for your neighbors too. Even if you are still getting caught up on the latest snowfall projections, it should not be a surprise at all that travel is being impacted. And we've got a lot of major airport hubs from the southeast to the northeast that will see delays. We also, on the screen, have major interstates for you on the map. So you can see how many of those will need some serious cleanup. Now we're starting to loosen up a little bit on the delays going through later in the day Saturday, but this is not accounting the impacts that we'll see from earlier flight delays, cancellations, and mechanical maintenance and the time it takes for crews to de-ice planes. So special thanks to those folks and any outdoor worker who has to be out in this. It is going to
Sunday
be
still
cold. Sunday
that
still brings temperatures that are about 10 degrees cooler than average. And we know not all of you are cold weather lovers. So if you want it to be warmer, warmer air will arrive on Tuesday. Take a look at how many places are included under a blizzard warning. That's in the pink shading, but there's also going to be heavy snow coming down if you are in the blue zones for the winter storm warnings and advisories. We're talking about snow being blown around by significant winds, 2 to 4 inch snowfall rates possible. Most places are going to see 1.5 to 2 feet, and we're not going to be surprised at all to see some higher totals. Whiteout conditions are expected with the worst visibility as we go through later in the day Saturday. Don't be surprised when the winds quickly pick up and then just keep on going. Travel really might be impossible in some spots, and that has to do with the visibility we're showing you here. The boating community has also been forewarned about major drops in visibility in rough seas, and moderate coastal flooding is also expected. So this is far from all about the snow, but I know this is what everybody wants to see. Even as the snow tapers off later in the day Saturday, know that areas of blowing snow are expected to continue into Saturday night. Please be careful out there.
This is going to be a very big storm, probably one of the biggest we've experienced in the last few years. Conditions are expected to make travel nearly impossible, and we're urging everyone, to the extent possible, to stay home tonight and tomorrow. The entire state is expected to get snow, with blizzard conditions expected in coastal areas, including the Cape, and also along the South Shore and the North Shore, and very significant snowfall across Greater Boston and into Central Mass. The rate of snowfall is expected to pick up significantly around 9 or 10 tomorrow morning, and the National Weather Service expects snowfall of between 2 and 4 inches per hour, between 10 and 4 tomorrow. 2 to 4 inches an hour is basically whiteout conditions.
Even if you are still getting caught up on the latest snowfall projections, it should not be a surprise at all that take a look at how many places are included under a blizzard warning. That's in the pink shading, but there's also going to be heavy snow coming down if you are in the blue zones for the winter storm warnings and advisories. We're talking about snow being blown around by significant winds, 2 to 4 inch snowfall rates possible. Most places are going to see 1.5 to 2 feet, and we're not going to be surprised at all to see some higher totals. Whiteout conditions are expected with the worst visibility as we go through later in the day Saturday. Don't be surprised when the winds quickly pick up and then just keep on going. Travel really might be impossible in some spots, and that has to do with the visibility we're showing you here. The boating community has also been forewarned about major drops in visibility in rough seas, and moderate coastal flooding is also expected. So this is far from all about the snow, but I know this is what everybody wants to see. Even as the snow tapers off later in the day Saturday, know that areas of blowing snow are expected to continue into Saturday night. Please be careful out there.
This is going to be a very big storm, probably one of the biggest we've experienced in the last few years. Conditions are expected to make travel nearly impossible, and we're
From North Carolina to New England, the countdown to Winter Storm Kenan is on. This has the potential to be the biggest nor'easter in years, and the flight cancellations are already piling up. Nearly 2,000 flights have been grounded between today and Saturday, and a lot of them are at Boston's Logan Airport. Kenan could bring blizzard conditions and coastal flooding to that area. Now, officials in Scituate told people that they might want to think about leaving because the city's right on the coast, and it almost always floods during nor'easters. The storm is also giving Virginia a case of deja vu. A state of emergency was declared there for the third time in less than 2 weeks. All right, so instead of focusing on how much snow Winter Storm Keenan is going to drop in the Northeast, let's focus in this specific video about the wind and the coastal flooding aspect of the storm, because that's a really big deal when it comes to nor'easters. All right, so the worst of the coastal flooding tends to happen during high tides and when we have onshore flow. Now, for most of the mid-Atlantic, that's going to be early on Saturday morning with kind of that flow out of the Northeast, okay? That's when the morning high tide cycles are. And then during the afternoon, or I should say the evening high tide cycles, the most onshore flow will be up in New England. We'll have more offshore flow in the mid-Atlantic. So look, as far as coastal flooding events go, this is not going to be the worst one that we've ever seen. I'd say minor to moderate coastal flooding, where we'll at least have some road closures and things like that. But the wind is going to be absolutely howling. I can almost guarantee we're going to have some power outages, especially parts of Cape Cod, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, where we could see some wind gusts 70 to 80 miles per hour on Saturday as this thing's coming through. And then things start to get a little better as we get into Sunday.
It's not just the snow we're forecasting this weekend. It's also the potential for record cold all the way down in the south, courtesy of the nor'easter, which will just help push that Arctic air further and further south. So places like Miami, yes, you could break the record, and watch out, because really you were in for it here Saturday and Sunday morning with temperatures falling into the 30s. This is going to be some very chilly stuff, especially through Florida. Tampa 34 on Sunday for your forecast low. 38, that's what you'll be waking up to in the morning in Miami on Sunday. Now, temperatures are going to rebound quickly. So you have this really cold shot, and then a pattern change comes in, and that will push warmer air, not only into the south, but even up into the mid-Atlantic and Northeast as well. So as we kick off February, we will do so with some warmer temperatures.
Okay, so we all know about this big nor'easter blizzard that we're going to have hitting the Northeast on Saturday. But after that, there's actually another storm system that's going to be dropping some pretty significant snow, especially in parts of the Great Lakes and the Midwest. All right, it's going to be a little bit of a different looking storm than the big blizzard. Certainly not a coastal storm. It's going to be more of a kind of stalled out frontal boundary that will splay itself across the northern tier of the nation. And well, really anywhere from the Central Plains up into parts of the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and parts of the interior Northeast as well. Between Monday and Friday, you guys are going to get some snow. It'll actually be some pretty heavy snow, especially in the Great Lakes. So parts of northern Ohio, Indiana, parts of southern Michigan, and into parts of Illinois as well. I think that's where really the bullseye is going to end up being as far as the heaviest snow totals. A little bit early to talk numbers, but in the next day or two, we'll get some numbers out on that for you. Could be close to a foot of snow in some spots. Well, we got another really cold blast of air that's going to affect parts of the central and southern plains. A lot of people in Texas, Oklahoma especially. It's going to be a really rude awakening between Wednesday and Thursday as far as the temperatures go, okay? So you look at the temperature forecast here through Wednesday. We start off in the morning nice and mild like usual. Not too bad in the afternoon, but once we get into the evening, man, that cold air comes in. It's very, very sharp change from north to south throughout the evening on Wednesday and through the morning on Thursday. Look at the forecast highs here. Very noticeable change. Dallas, low 60s on Wednesday, and on Thursday, the high temperature is only going to be 38, okay? And it's in the morning when you really feel some of the coldest temperatures. Dallas, 22 for your morning low on Thursday. San Angelo at 20 on Thursday morning. My brother just moved to Austin. He's been bragging to me about how warm it's been so far there through the winter. Maybe I just won't tell him about this little cool down and see how that works out. Here's the temperature outlook for next week in general into next weekend, and a lot of below average temperatures down in the southern plains, while they'll be above average actually along the eastern seaboard.
It always feels like our brains naturally click over to winter weather around Thanksgiving, doesn't it? And we start worrying about road hazards as we attempt to gather for the holidays. Well, some states have a little more time than others before old Jack Frost comes a-calling. According to NOAA, as well as the amazing climate scientist Dr. Brian Brettschneider, on average, December is the snowiest month if you live in the light blue shaded areas. January is the snowiest in the dark blue, and February is your snowiest month in the pink areas. March is snowiest in the yellow, and in the red, your snowiest month is April, but that is rare. Now, the winter precip outlook through February in general looks to be above average for the Pacific Northwest and also a big chunk of the Midwest, Great Lakes, and interior Northeast, and below average precip in the southern tier in the tannish yellow shading. And gray shading means your precip will be about average, but again, this is simply an average. A FedEx semi-trailer was left hanging off an overpass after a crash on an icy bridge Wednesday morning in northwest Indiana. We talked to state police, who said a total of 3 vehicles were involved, and at least one person was transported to the hospital. They said the bridge where this happened on the Indiana Toll Road was a solid sheet of ice, and the weather was so cold, about 2 degrees, that even salt wasn't working to melt it. Several other crashes were reported in the same general area near the town of Mishawaka. In addition to the frigid cold, more than 7 inches of snow have fallen around the region in recent days.
A massive snowstorm is bringing parts of Greece and Turkey to its knees. Flights slowly started to resume at Istanbul Airport on Tuesday. Snow grounded all the planes there for almost 24 hours. Hundreds of angry travelers protested while trapped in the busy airport. But driving was also a recipe for disaster. Thousands of people were stranded on roads across the region. In some areas, the cars were completely covered in snow. Drivers on one highway were forced to brave freezing temperatures and spend the night in their cars. So, from Istanbul to Athens, officials are telling everyone to stay off the roads, and they could be hunkering down for days. The storm has already dumped more than 31 inches of snow on some areas, and it's likely not stopping until Thursday.
So, do you ever wonder how they keep the trains going in Chicago in really frigid weather like this? Well, basically, they just flip a switch to heat up the tracks, and it's with fire. The flames come from these gas-fed heaters along the rails. Now, railroad switch points can get clogged with snow and ice in the winter, so the fire basically acts to melt it, and that ensures safe traveling. A lot of northern cities have pretty similar systems, and don't be surprised if this system is used in Chicago over the next few days, because you notice in the forecast, you're not seeing any temperatures above freezing. In fact, a lot of those morning temperatures will be in the single digits, and Wednesday morning, likely several degrees below zero. So really cold weather on tap through the end of the week.
Tropical storm Anna is bringing more misery to Madagascar. It was the second tropical system to hit the island in a week. Back-to-back bouts.
Bridge collapse. Let me see here. Do you know what state it was in?
What, Mark?
You know what state it was in, that bridge collapse?
The one that Biden's supposed to speech in. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Biden had a speech going either yesterday or he's going to have one. Was it Pennsylvania? No. His home state, maybe? Boston? Wherever he's from. It's back east somewhere. Nobody died, but they had minor injuries. Can't remember.
I
Yeah.
looked up Biden's speech, and this
Or
was
maybe he.
a day ago. President Biden speaks on Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer's retirement.
I know he went somewhere where he's going somewhere.
I don't pay attention.
I don't know. Let me see if I can find it.
I looked it up on YouTube.
With every model run on Winter Storm Keenan.
Yesterday's weather.
I found one. It's in Pittsburgh. You want the link?
Yes. Post it in
Hold on.
private. That way I can
Okay.
copy it. Thirty 35 degrees at 12:52 a.m. 43 degrees now. Oh, temperature. It was 53 at by 4 o'clock.
I'm at 13 right now.
Visibility 10 miles.
Yeah, it's that one. The one I just shared with you.
This morning we had a stroke collapse.
Here. Oh, where is it? Okay, here.
This morning we had a stroke, a collapse of the bridge. 3 to 4 vehicles were on the bridge at the time
I
that it
have
went
no
down.
idea what's going on.
We have extricated everybody off. As the mayor stated, there were 10 collapse of the bridge injuries. 3 were transported, none were life-threatening. Right now we are stepping down our operations and sending some of the units back home. And we will be here for a while. We still have to do a little bit
Why
of
is it playing?
recon to make sure that no one was under the structure when it collapsed. There was a
It's
massive
playing, but I don't see a picture.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to it.
Several families were evacuated from their homes. They have been allowed back. We were told by the gas company that all their gas trucks are collapsed of the bridge.
So right now we're still assessing
3
the
to 4
situation.
Why is it playing?
I got 2 of them up.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to turn one off and turn the other one on. And mute yourself.
Right now we don't have no fatalities.
Need picture.
This together.
This bridge collapse happened on the
Stroke, a collapse of the bridge. 3 to 4 vehicles were on the bridge at the time that it went down. We have extricated everybody off. As the mayor stated, there were 10 minor injuries. 3 were transported, none were life-threatening. Right now, we are stepping down our operations and sending some of the units back home. and we will be here for a while. We still have to do a little bit of recon to make sure that no one was under the structure when it collapsed. There was a massive gas leak caused by the collapse that is now under control. Several families were evacuated from their homes. They have been allowed back. We were told by the gas company that all their gas service has been restored.
So right now we're still assessing the situation, getting information. But the good thing at this point is that there's no fatalities. And we're going to pray that there is no fatalities. You know, we were fortunate. A bus went over. And right now we don't have no fatalities. We got 3 hurt. They've been looked at, and I think 10 have been seen, and they're okay. So we're just going to continue to hope for the best and make sure that we get this together.
This bridge collapse happened on the day that the president is headed here to talk about infrastructure. I mean, what does that say about some of the improvements that need to be done?
We need it. You know, I said it before. This bipartisan infrastructure law is critical to Southwest Pennsylvania and the city of Pittsburgh. We know we have bridges that we need to take care of. We're finding out now when the last inspection was and everything. But with him coming today to talk about this infrastructure bill, to discuss why this funding is so important, today is significant of that.
It's surreal. I mean, this is a bridge that I quite literally just drove over yesterday, and I'm just so grateful that nobody was killed. But I think it drives home this idea that how critical it is that we invest in our infrastructure, not just in Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania, but across the country. And the fact that the president is coming to discuss infrastructure just drives that home in a coincidence, and hopefully that really brings it to a head, just how critical these investments are to not only our community here in Pittsburgh, but all across the country.
Right now, a severe weather alert, and we have team coverage for you tonight of the blizzard that's beginning to reach our area. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Shannon Heggie. Many of you have been out tonight stocking up on the essentials to get through this weekend storm. Gas stations are running out of fuel. Grocery stores are out of staples like milk and eggs.
We'll have live reports from 12 News reporters Sheena Lasciuto, Amanda Pitts, and Kim Kalunian coming up. But first, let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Tony Petracca, what we can expect over the next 24 hours. Tony?
All right, Mike and Shannon, you had new data just coming in, and you're right, the snow has started. It's very light, but boy, it really starts to ramp up shortly during the overnight and especially on Saturday. So we'll set the stage with the blizzard warning for the areas in red that remains in effect overnight and especially on Saturday. Near blizzard conditions, meaning poor visibility, whiteout conditions, a strong wind, and very heavy snow. We take a look at the satellite and radar composite. You see there's little shades of blue working in. Initially, that is light snow. This is the northern fringe of a storm that's developing. It's still well to our south. Here's the wider view. You see the precipitation up and down the east coast. I want to draw your attention to some of this colder air off to our north and west that'll be working in. This is going to be an exceptionally cold snowstorm with temperatures well below freezing, wind chills tomorrow afternoon with heavy snow below zero. So you can see the storm developing. We have our lightning tracker turned on. See these lightning flashes? So that's a tip-off that the storm is intensifying right in this general location over the Gulf Stream, over some warm waters, and here is southern New England. Now, when we take a look at what it boils down to in the future, watch this, a shield of snow expanding and working through tomorrow morning. Here we are late morning at 10 a.m. The storm is offshore. The wind is picked up. This darker blue is moderate to heavy snow. We're still seeing signs that from roughly mid to late morning and during the afternoon, snowfall rates may be at the rate of 1 to 3 inches per hour. So here we are. The light snow has started. Heavier by 3 o'clock in the morning, very heavy from mid-morning through mid-afternoon, strong wind gusts. And then the storm diminishing by Saturday evening and especially by midnight on Saturday night. It should taper to flurries, but the wind will remain strong. So travel conditions will continue to deteriorate throughout the morning and afternoon. Here we are tomorrow morning with a windswept, heavy snow, poor travel, and a temperature at about 25 degrees. Statewide, region-wide, we're still forecasting snow on the amounts of anywhere from 15 to 25. So on the low end, which obviously is not low at all, 15, and on the high end, 24. And looking at new information coming in, I'm kind of leaning more towards like a 12 to 18-inch snowfall. So that is significant. Strong winds, so near blizzard conditions are expected. And Saturday morning, with each passing hour, the snow becoming heavier and heavier and the temperature dropping off as well. We'll have more information. We'll talk about the storm in more detail, how it all plays out during the afternoon. Specific snowfall accumulations just kind of scratching the surface right now. That's coming up in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, we'll go to Sheena Lasciuto, who's taking a look at some of the preps this evening and overnight. Sheena?
The storm's actually building off of Virginia Beach, and then it's going to come up the coast.
While the rest of us are being asked to stay home, these are people getting ready for a marathon.
You know, this is what we prepare for all year long. This is our Super Bowl.
From clearing big parking lots to sidewalks, Case Snow Management is expecting a long 48 hours.
So this is what we call a case truck.
Many of their customers are businesses.
This is really the hub or the epicenter.
12 News got an inside look at the company headquarters in North Attleboro while they still had time for us. Pretty soon, all crews will be out in the elements.
We're in full force. We've moved a lot of assets from the west into this region to help support.
So what sets this storm apart for them? It's expected to snow for hours, way longer than your typical snowfall.
In the beginning, we do a lot of pre-treat and preparation for the storm, and we're out during the storm, making sure our customer sites are safe for them to navigate. A lot of our customers operate in a 24/7 operation, so we have to make sure that they can get in and out of their facilities. And then after the storm is when it really gets intense for us. This is one of our loaders that we use out in the field, and the piece of equipment on front is what's known as a pusher.
And because of how much it's expected to snow, crews will likely have to visit locations several times during the storm.
It's been a little bit of an anomaly. Most of the storms have taken place on the weekends, so we've had some long weekends here at Case.
That is Sheena Lasciuto reporting as those plow drivers waiting for nights like this, but they're going to work extra hard this weekend.
Yeah, they are putting in a lot of hours. We want to head now to Amanda Pitts, who's live outside with more on preparations and what everyone else is doing to get ready. Amanda?
Yeah, well, Mike, Shannon, preparations are well underway here in Warwick. Utility crews, as you can see, are lined up and ready to go. And Rhode Islanders are ready to go, too. Stores were packed this evening. Gas stations so busy, some ran out of gas.
Like, wow, there's nothing on the shelves. It was crazy.
Empty shelves and full parking lots as Rhode Islanders rush to prepare for Saturday's winter storm.
And people are, they're a little tense. We haven't had a good blizzard in a while.
Elizabeth Ely just wanted a full tank of gas before the snow starts, but was met with this. No gas at the Shell in Cranston. Luckily, a refill came fast.
Top it off. It's the Rhode Island thing to do, isn't it? Along with bread, milk, toilet paper, and everybody else.
Some hoping to stock up on the necessities before hunkering down were out of luck.
Absolutely nothing, really. A lot of things were sold. Couldn't get anything, really. Came in here only capable of getting a top right now.
What were you going in there to get?
A shovel, some sleds for the kids.
For all snow supplies, just mostly empty. There was one bag of salt left, and I felt really bad. There was an elderly lady who wanted to grab it, but it was ripped open, so she couldn't get it.
Sylvia Haxton says she was prepared before tonight, but made the trip out for something cozy.
The girls are ready for the snowstorm.
While they ride out the storm and hope not to lose power. National Grid says it's staffed up and ready to respond.
With losing power, because we do have a baby at home, so things like that is worrisome, but we're going to be okay. Born and raised in Rhode Island, so we are used to this.
Now, National Grid has crews staged in Portsmouth, Lincoln, and here in Warwick. And we have information on power outages as they come in tomorrow on WPRI.com. For now, live in Warwick, Amanda Pitts, 12 News.
Amanda, thank you. Our local hospitals are also getting ready for the storm.
Hello. Hello. Anybody out there?
Looking into any office that's not used.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
I hit a button.
Doctor tells us staff and patient safety are the top priority, and the hospital will do everything in its power to make sure no one's care is affected.
Governor Dan McKee has declared a state of emergency, and the congressional delegation is requesting a federal emergency declaration for the state.
Meantime, Rhode Islanders should prepare to stay inside their homes for the next 24 hours. The travel ban goes into effect for all vehicles starting tomorrow morning at 8. And if you typically park on the street, you're going to want to move your car before you head to bed tonight. There are a lot of parking bans out there tonight, and we'll be scrolling them at the bottom of your screen. You can see them on WPRI.com.
12 News reporter Kim Kalunian joins us live from the weather yard with the latest guidance from state officials and how long it could take to dig out from the snow. Kim?
Shannon and Mike, even though the snow is expected to taper off by tomorrow night, the cleanup efforts could extend well past the end of the storm.
Yeah, I'm always hitting buttons.
The message from state officials is a simple one.
The best way to handle this storm is to stay home tomorrow.
Governor Dan McKee and municipal leaders urging folks to hunker down and ride out the blizzard conditions from the safety.
Boy, what a mess.
McKee putting a statewide travel ban for all vehicles into effect starting at 8 a.m. Saturday.
We don't put these travel bans in effect lightly, but it is dangerous. It'd be extremely dangerous for anyone to get on the highway.
State Police Superintendent Colonel James Manny says violators will be stopped and issued a summons. There are some exemptions for the ban, including public safety and government employees, healthcare workers, and news media. Travel is also allowed to support critical businesses like gas stations, grocery stores, and pharmacies. Otherwise, people should not be on the roads.
When the drivers are out and the cars are in the way, that is dangerous, and dangerous for our drivers that are removing the snow from the streets. We've seen where cars get buried in snow and you don't even know they're there.
Even with 500 trucks, the Rhode Island DOT says the snow is likely to get ahead of them. The ability for plowing to go as smoothly as possible is why there are widespread parking bans, including in Providence.
With no cars, the plows can just go straight down the street and move a lot more snow. So if everybody does their part, we'll do our part. But if we get, on the higher ends of what's being projected, we're not going to be done on Saturday. This will likely spill over into Sunday.
Although cleanup is likely to continue throughout the weekend, in a live interview with our Anita Buffoni on 12 News at 6, McKee says he's hopeful
That
life
looks
will
like
be back
South
to normal
Carolina.
on Monday.
I think we will, based on the current forecast, but we'll be updating people all the way through the day tomorrow and
Yeah.
And the governor's next briefing is scheduled for 9:30 tomorrow morning. We will, of course, carry that live for you here on WPRI 12 and on WPRI.com. Live in the weather yard, I'm Kim Kalunian, 12 News.
Right now, a severe weather alert, and we have team coverage for you tonight of the blizzard that is beginning to reach the area. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Shannon Heggie. As you can see, we have team coverage tonight. Kim Kalunian and Amanda Pitts and Sheena Lusciuto are breaking down the state response and how so many of you are preparing.
But first, let's get to Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca with what we can expect. It's starting to fall there, Tony.
Yeah, Mike and Shannon, light to moderate snow starting to stick. We're looking at North Scituate intersection of 101 and 102. If you look at the street light, you can see the snow sticking to the ground. Very light for now, but boy, it will really ramp up overnight and especially on Saturday. New data coming into the Weather Center we've been analyzing it, and nothing's really changed with the forecast. It's still keeping it intact. Unfortunately, it still looks like a high impact snowstorm. The areas in red, it is a blizzard warning for overnight and especially on Saturday. Blizzard conditions meaning poor visibility, heavy snow, and strong wind. As we take a look at the satellite and radar composite, you see the shield of blue starting to work in. That is snow. See the darker blue just offshore? That's some moderate snow. So with each passing hour overnight, the snow getting heavier and heavier. Here's the wider view. I want to draw your attention to some of the temperatures to our north and west. Look at Buffalo, how cold it is. Very cold air is going to be feeding into this storm. So it'll be all snow. And it's one reason why the snow will have kind of a dry texture to it, because the temperatures are so cold. So it's easy to blow around and drift in some of the stronger wind that we're forecasting. The storm itself is intensifying off the Carolina coastline. Here's southern New England. And we know that for a couple of reasons. We have our lightning tracker turned on. Look at all these lightning strikes starting to flare up. Indications that the storm is intensifying and getting organized. And this will track north and east, passing south of Cape Cod, south and east of Cape Cod tomorrow morning and tomorrow tomorrow afternoon. So this is what it looks like right now. The blue is snow. Take this into the future, put this into motion. There's the storm offshore. Look at this strip of dark blue. This is very heavy snow and strong wind. Here we are at noontime. We are well into it with a wind-driven heavy storm offshore, snowing at the rate at times, especially from mid to late morning through mid-afternoon, at the rate of 1 to 3 inches per hour. So the light snow has started heavier overnight in a windswept heavy snow, the height of the storm tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, easing up a little tomorrow evening, and then more so by midnight tomorrow night. So travel is just poor. It's in some cases impossible, especially mid to late morning with the wind-driven heavy snow. Statewide, by tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, snowfall amounts will range anywhere from 15 to 24 inches with near blizzard conditions. We'll talk more about the storm as data is coming in, the full forecast in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, Sheena Lasciuto out and about, seeing how people are getting prepped for the storm.
Yeah, well, Tony, we know that always city and state workers are out on the roads, treating the roads, trying to keep up with the snow. But as we know, parking lots can become trouble, too, if you don't work on them right away. And that's why one snow removal company says they're getting straight to work tonight.
The storm's actually building off of Virginia Beach, and then it's going to come up the coast.
While the rest of us are being asked to stay home, these are people getting ready for a marathon.
So, you know, this is what we prepare for all year long. This is our Super Bowl.
From clearing big parking lots to sidewalks, Case Snow Management is expecting.
For the blizzard, all of the local hospitals have plans in place when the weather gets dangerous. So
ride out the storm and hope not to lose power. National Grid says
because we do have a big
Saturday will be on the air starting at 6.
Trumpy, Danielle North, Patrick in place when the weather gets dangerous so that staff will be on hand if necessary. But new tonight, as Pam Crocker from Newport Hospital explains, the strength of this storm mixing with pandemic restrictions has led them to overhaul their plan.
We had to pivot today and really start to think about how do we provide more private accommodations so that staff aren't as close to each other. We can provide that social distancing that we really need in this pandemic. Looking into any office that's not used on a weekend, and how do we find an inflatable mattress, and how do we find a towel for that staff member?
Crocker tells us staff and patient safety are the top priority, and the hospital will do everything in its power to make sure no one's care is affected.
And in Massachusetts, Governor Charlie Baker is echoing the same words of warning we've been hearing all day from Rhode Island on the flight tracker right now on our website. And Governor Dan McKee has declared
storm is to stay home tomorrow.
Governor Dan McKee and municipal critical businesses like gas stations, grocery stores, and pharmacies. Otherwise, people should not be on the roads.
When the drivers are out,
We saw that already. What are they going to do? If you get people, stupid people that are decided to go out, they get frostbite, or they get too cold, hypothermia.
Frostbite.
Yeah,
Too cold.
Even -1 up in Burlington. I mean, come on now. That is not the time to go out and play.
No.
But
believe me, I dropped down a couple of years ago to -15.
Whoa, that sounds like giggles.
And it was -15. Then it dropped down to -20. And I'll tell you what, it's almost unbearable.
Oh, I know. It went down like -10 degrees in Philadelphia.
And when it's that cold, you got to cover your mouth, otherwise you'll freeze everything.
And I had to shovel the sidewalk and the driveway. And that's the thing. People don't think because it's a public sidewalk, you're still responsible to keep it clear in a snowstorm. Because it's part of your property,
Right.
even though it's not property. But yeah, man, it sounds wicked, really mean out there. You know, I tell you one thing. If we had a snowstorm like that, and we know about it in advance, we need to go to the supermarket and get stocked up on food.
Yeah. Well, you should have food in the house anyway, just in case something happens, so you don't have to buy
Yeah,
so much.
Well, with that,
But remember, in a storm like that, you'll lose power. No power, no water. Now, if you got your own well.
yeah. Well, we lost power about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. 6:30 in the evening, the power went out, and it didn't go on till like 11 in the morning. So we were all cold. I had 2 blankets on and a coat.
Yeah.
Well, the house always keeps the cold. I mean, it could be 60 degrees out there, and the house would be cold.
I wonder what happened to Born Rebel, the Natural Born Rebel.
I don't know. Was he in here earlier?
Yeah, I told you.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Oh, there he is. Well, I'm sorry. I guess I didn't hear you, Donnie.
Oh,
thank
he's
you.
gone. He hasn't said nothing for a while.
Well, my
Nope,
apologies.
he's gone. There's nobody here except me. I told you, greet your guest.
Oh, I guess I was having noise. Sometimes I tell you, when I get noise in my ears, in my head, I don't hear what you're saying. I get a lot of that.
I started talking to him, and
Well, my apologies.
you just quit talking. That's okay.
First time, well, I wasn't. I guess I was busy going back and forth with the videos. Well, I feel bad now. Wow. But anyway, yeah. If you hear a snowstorm is coming in your area, you need to go now.
Well, I'm used to it, Mark. We don't get no warning.
Yeah, but if you
Idaho is like that. I mean, it can be 100 degrees 1 minute and drop down to 0 the next. Like I said, when you come to Idaho, be prepared to bring an umbrella, a snowmobile suit, or a bikini.
Well, a bikini I can wear. A snowsuit, no.
If you don't like it 1 minute, just wait till the next.
Fickle weather. Must be fickle weather up
Yep.
in Idaho. Well, that's
It
because
could be snowing like hell across the street, and on my side of the street, I've got the sun shining. So,
wow.
Idaho is strange.
I still would like to see Idaho. I go watch some stuff about Idaho a lot. But
Hello, Kimba.
Kimba, hey, what's up, Kimba? Yeah, cheers. I tell you, Kimba, what was it? Oklahoma. First one was Oklahoma. It was Spartanburg, Greenville, Spartanburg, Asheville area. 5 to 6 inches of snow. And now this was killer storm. Oh, and Genevieve. I don't know if you know Genevieve. I think she's in Canada. They got snowstorms. But I was just doing a weather check on across the United States. If you want to come up, come on up. But I know in South Carolina, Spartanburg, especially in Spartanburg, that supermarket goes bare quickly. You can't get bread, you can't get eggs, you can't get milk if you don't get there quick enough. The mere talk about possible snow and that supermarket goes empty within a half a day. Well, what happens if you could be stocked up on food? Uh-oh.
What happened, Mark?
My light went out.
Oh,
So I don't know if it's a power failure coming up or what.
okay. At this present time, do you have your camera on?
Me, yeah.
Okay. So what happens if you shut your camera off? Like if you wouldn't have a camera? So you don't have to have a camera?
Nope.
Okay. That would work.
Yeah. But I don't know why.
And I still can share my videos?
So what? Say again, Darlene.
And I still can share my videos without a camera?
I think so. Let me see here. Let me check.
We got this, girls. Like, let's go.
And that is clean, clean, clean. Well done, Megan. And that is super clean. Well done. It's 15-14. Come on. Ladies, one more to go.
We got to get back. We got to get back. We can't stop now.
I guess you can, huh?
The girls win.
Okay. So I could go live without a camera.
That's correct.
Come on, let's go.
It's Chef Ramsay's Attention to Detail Squid Challenge. And both teams
You just don't have a face.
in a race to break down 16 perfect squids.
It's 15-14.
And Emily, a line cook from New York, scrambles to deliver what her team hopes will be the
Weekend. Yeah, this weekend it's going to be 21 degrees Friday night, humidity 64, UV index 0 out of 10, moonrise 317, moon set 119. But Saturday is going to be a high of 39 here at Heffler. Sunday 54. Then Friday, next weekend is going to be 46 on Friday, 45 on Saturday, 48 on Sunday. Wow. Day, 39, starting Saturday the 29th, 39 and 54. 61 on Monday, 64 on Tuesday, 63 Wednesday, and 62 on Thursday. And then it goes back down into the 40s.
Yeah.
And then February 11th, 60 degrees on Friday. And so far, no mention of snow. But what I was trying to say earlier, if your power goes out, especially here, and you got steak and you got hamburger, you got beef or chicken, you can't cook. So I guess the best thing to do is get lunch meat. Can't make any toast.
Well, yeah.
Can't make breakfast.
Don't need a refrigerator if there's a snowstorm. You always can throw your meat outside.
There you go. I didn't think about that.
You didn't think about that? Just put it in a box so animals can't get to it. If you want to buy some more meat, then you always can make a fire outside, like, having a barbecue outside. Fire pit.
I think you should have a enclosed.
You got
porch.
enough trees around, so you can cook.
Yeah, on the grill. I used to do that.
If you got a gas grill, more power to you. But if you don't, you always can make a fire pit outside and cook your food outside.
Shannon did that. Made a fire pit and cooked hot dogs. But you got
You can cook anything. You can cook pasta. Just use it as like a gas stove.
I think you should have an enclosed porch. That way, if it's snowing and the power is out, you don't get a whole bunch of snow. There's a whole bunch of ideas you can do, I guess.
Yeah, I know how to survive, so.
Shoot, I barely survived when I was homeless. Sleeping in my car, sleeping behind the public library. But I tell you, they need more shelters, especially in Spartanburg. There's only there's two in Spartanburg, one in Greenville, one in Seneca. And that's it. They have limited capacity.
We've got one here, but it's a one overnighter. And if you run out of gas or something, they'll put gas in and send you on your way.
Oh, that's cool.
Or if you need clothes or something, they'll help you out that way. Or food.
Well,
it's called the God's Loving Heart.
We have one in Seneca, Our Daily Rest. What they do is, if it's 40 degrees or below 40, they let you stay there overnight. Dinner time, about 6:30. If you're not part of the group home, they will offer you food. You just come up there, knock on the door, they'll come out, say, I'm hungry. Do you have anything left over? And they'll bring it. They'll make it up for you and bring it out.
Right. Because there's no loitering in this town.
Well, that depends on your.
Walmart, they'll let you stay in their parking lot for 14 days, and then you've got to move.
Oh, well, that's pretty good. And if your house is your car, have plenty of gas, especially in the wintertime. Make sure you have like a pickup truck or a camper, a Volkswagen.
At least camper shell, at least you can stretch out.
Yeah, that was my problem with my car. I had all my stuff in the car, so I couldn't put the seat back. So I had to lay on the passenger side, have my legs scrunched up on the driver's side.
Yeah.
I wonder how these people that are actually homeless have nowhere to stay, live in tents.
Actually, tents can be pretty warm, especially if you got 4 or 5 people in there. It's called body heat.
Yeah. So, like that one, a movie, I don't know, I think it was just Hollywood. FBI agent who was hunting somebody, They had a survivalist out there. There was a snowstorm. No way. I'd rather freeze. They do some really, really strange things. But the point is, yeah, that's your point. Body heat. Anyway, that's pretty much for my weather report.
That killed the weather, right?
San Francisco is 55. Manhattan, New York, 29. Schiller Park, Illinois, 12 degrees.
Did China set the broom up yet?
Oh, I've had some hard-boiled eggs yesterday, and I meant to try it with her. I forgot. No, she hasn't tried the broom yet. Again.
I tried the egg. I can get it to stand up on the round end, but not on the pointed end. And I got my broom to stand up again.
Oh, well, cool.
This time I put it on the dining room table.
On the table? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't download it yet. It's still in the camera.
Tony was right. You're possessed. He's a witch.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking with you.
Oh, that's okay.
Houston, Texas, 47. St. James, England, United Kingdom, 51. That's the place to be. St. James, England. But so far, no snow here where I'm at. Nearby weather stations. Barrow County, 32 degrees, wind chill 24.1. Hartsville, Atlanta, 30, 18 low. The wind chill makes it look like 18. Continental Colony, Atlanta, Georgia, 30 degrees. Wind chill factor, same. East Point, Georgia, 29.8. Feels like 26.3. Elmwood, Atlanta, Georgia, 30.6. Feels like 26.6. It's all right to go out to these temperatures for a while. Like if I go to the store, when I have to go to the store, just right up the street. I usually, if I have to go out to shopping, I usually warm up my car before I go out. But in a snowstorm, like what they're having up there, the corner store doesn't carry much. Bread, milk. They have some cheese, some hot dogs. They have pizza. They get some pizza, but they're not like a convenience store or a super.
Yeah. It's a little store, right?
Yeah, little Rinky Ink corner store. But they need to get more stuff. The shelves are almost bare. I mean, you can buy candy, but you can't live off the candy.
What kind of mask do you have there? It's spooky looking.
Huh?
That mask you have sitting there.
That's China's nephew's mask.
Oh.
like V for Victory from that movie from England.
That thing is spooky.
Where did Kimba go? At least I got to say hi to Kimba. Oh, I'm watching It Follows. Want to
You
watch it
doing
with
what?
me? The
What?
movie It Follows?
You're probably gonna get a strike.
No, I'll put it on private. That's up to you. I'm trying to finish it. Yeah, I definitely got to go food shopping tomorrow or something.
I should go do my video and I ain't got the oomph.
Yeah,
I'll do it tomorrow.
like I said, you and I got to get together one day and you can tell me how you do those screenshots and flipping photos.
I go out and take pictures.
Yeah, you can take pictures, but I don't know how to, put them together.
Oh,
I got a video editor. And let's see here. What I got a video editor and a video recorder. Snip and sketch.
now why does this thing show up when I just got rid of it?
What?
That Russian thing there. I just
Oh, yeah.
reported it. I don't see it in the chat, but I see it in private chat.
Huh.
That's weird.
Yeah, block user. Yeah, I don't know why you can't do that. I noticed when you're on panel, you can't do anything because I realized that in Bob's live stream. Kimba must be in England or Canada. Cheers.
She just said cheers and nothing else. So nobody here except me and you.
That's cool.
What makes that little old land think he can move that rubber tree plant?
Anyway, that's got the all the coverage available on this snowstorm alert. Anyway, I'm gonna finish watching It Follows, the movie.
Okay.
And if you want to join me, I'll send you the link.
I'm really not in the mood for a movie.
Free popcorn, free drinks, free Raisinets. Hey, did you before I go? Did you look at the StreamYard's accounts? You can do it annually, pay for it annually, or pay for it by the month.
No, I didn't look at it. I got a email from them.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't even look at it yet.
Anyway, stay warm,
Alrighty, Mark.
stay dry. Oh,
Yep.
I got to talk to an old friend of mine today.
Good.
They moved up from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Northeast. They moved to New York somewhere. They've been married 41 years now.
Well, good.
Yeah. I've been married for what, 20 years? Still married, but I gotta get off my butt and file for a divorce. But I don't know if I can do it here in Alabama or I have to go to South Carolina to do that. Everything is so far away. When we lived up in South Carolina, it was only what, 6 miles to the store up in Anderson and 10 miles to Seneca.
Oh, you're a city boy. That's all to it.
Here, I got 25 miles to Oxford, Alabama, and like 15 to Bremen, Georgia.
You're just used to that big city life.
Well, Shreveport, Pennsylvania wasn't a city. It was like a little county. But they had Rite Aid, they had a little supermarket. But Seneca, Clemson, Anderson, yeah, I guess you could call that big city. Anyway, I'll let you go. Kimber,
Alrighty, Mark.
Natural Born Rebel, thanks for coming in. Anybody that watches this, appreciate it. Leave a thumbs up and a comment.
Please.
What Darlene said. Anyway, aloha, my friend.
Aloha. Sleep tight.
I'll probably stay up for a little bit longer, unless I get too cold. Then I'll just
Yeah. Well, stay warm then.
I just hope the power doesn't go out. Well, we never knew what caused the power outage that day.
Power outage?
From 6:30 in the evening to 11.
Maybe it was the sun.
I tell you, I've never been so cold. I can't sleep in the cold. The air gets too cold and I can't sleep. Anyway, sweet dreams, my friend, and see you again. Oh,
Alrighty, Mark.
Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Hopefully, nothing bad happens.
Hasta mañana.
Yeah, hasta mañana.